Listen, I need to tell you something that might sound crazy at first, but stick with me because this could completely change how you see your life right now. You know that feeling when you're struggling with something and you think nobody understands? There's one person who's been holding the answer this whole time, and you've probably been taking her for granted. I'm talking about your mother. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but before you scroll away, let me explain why she's literally the key to unlocking parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. Think about it for a second. When you were born, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't walk, talk, feed yourself, nothing. You were completely helpless. But there was this one person who didn't give up on you. She didn't look at you and think, "This is too hard, I quit." No, she stayed up countless nights, learned your cries, figured out what you needed before you even knew how to ask for it. She became an expert on you. Now here's the thing that most people miss. That connection, that bond, that understanding she developed, it didn't just disappear when you grew up. It's still there, and it's more powerful than you realize. Your mother knows things about you that you don't even know about yourself. She remembers the kid who was afraid of the dark but pretended to be brave. She remembers when you failed at something and wanted to give up, and she saw something in you that made her push you to try again. She's been collecting data on you your entire life, and all that knowledge, all that understanding, it makes her the ultimate guide for your journey. But here's where it gets really interesting, and I want you to pay close attention because this is the part that changed everything for me. Studies from Harvard University found that people who have strong relationships with their mothers tend to have better emotional health, stronger resilience, and even more successful careers later in life. The researchers followed thousands of people for over 70 years and discovered that the quality of the mother-child relationship was one of the strongest predictors of overall life satisfaction and success. Think about that. Scientists spent decades researching happiness and success, and they kept coming back to the same answer. Your relationship with your mother matters more than almost anything else. Not money, not fame, not popularity on social media, but that bond with the woman who brought you into this world. Now, here's the midpoint truth bomb that nobody wants to hear, but everybody needs to understand. We live in a world that tells us to be independent, to figure everything out ourselves, to never show weakness. Social media makes it look like everyone has it all together, right? But that's fake. Behind every successful person, behind every person who looks like they have it all figured out, there's usually someone who believed in them first. And most of the time, that someone is their mother. She's the key because she sees potential that the world hasn't recognized yet. She believed you could walk before you took your first step. She believed you could talk before you said your first word. She's been betting on you since day one. But here's what breaks my heart. So many people, especially when they become teenagers or young adults, they start pushing their mothers away. They think she doesn't understand the modern world. They think her advice is outdated. They get annoyed when she asks too many questions or worries too much. They forget that her worry comes from love, that her questions come from genuine interest, that her advice comes from experience. And then one day, usually way too late, they realize what they lost. They realize that all those conversations they avoided, all those calls they didn't answer, all those times they rolled their eyes, they were actually missing out on wisdom that could have saved them from so much pain. Your mother is the key to understanding yourself because she's the only person who's known you from the very beginning. She knows your patterns, your fears, your dreams, even the ones you forgot about. When you're lost and don't know which direction to go, she can remind you of who you really are underneath all the masks you wear for the world. When you're doubting yourself, she can remind you of all the times you overcame obstacles before. When you're pretending to be someone you're not just to fit in, she's the one who can call you back to your authentic self because she knew that self before the world got its hands on you. And listen, I'm not saying your mother is perfect. No mother is, She's human, she makes mistakes, she has her own struggles and insecurities. Maybe your relationship with her is complicated, maybe there's been hurt or misunderstanding, maybe you feel like she doesn't get sometimes. But that doesn't change the fundamental truth. She holds keys to parts of your story that nobody else has access to. She knows where you came from, and understanding where you came from is essential to figuring out where you're going. You can't build a future if you don't understand your foundation, and she is part of that foundation. Here's what I want you to do, and this is as important. If you're watching this and it's resonating with you, hit that like button right now. Not for me, but as a commitment to yourself that you're going to value this relationship more. And drop a comment telling me one thing you appreciate about your mother, even if it's small. It could be her cooking, her laugh, the way she always answers the phone, anything. Because the act of acknowledging what she means to you, even in a comment, it changes something inside you. It shifts your perspective. And that shift is where transformation begins. Your mother is the key because she represents unconditional love in a conditional world. Think about that. The world loves you when you're successful, when you're beautiful, when you're useful, when you have something to offer. But your mother? She loved you when you were literally useless. She loved you when you cried all night. She loved you when you were difficult. She loved you before you achieved anything. That kind of love, that's rare. That's precious. And whether you realize it or not, that love is what gives you the courage to take risks, to be yourself, to keep going when things get hard. Because deep down, you know someone believes in you no matter what. Now, I know some of you are thinking about mothers who aren't around anymore, or relationships that are broken, or situations that are really complicated. And I want to acknowledge that pain. But even in those situations, understanding your mother's role in your story, making peace with that relationship, whether she's physically present or not, that's still the key to unlocking your own emotional freedom. Sometimes the key isn't about what you gain from her now, but about understanding and accepting what was or what couldn't be, so you can move forward without carrying that weight. The key your mother holds isn't just about her giving you advice or solving your problems. It's deeper than that. She's the mirror that reflects who you really are when you forget. She's the anchor that keeps you grounded when life gets chaotic. She's the evidence that you are worthy of love simply because you exist, not because of what you accomplish. In a world obsessed with performance and achievement, she reminds you that you mattered before you did anything, and you'll matter even if everything falls apart. That's powerful. That's the kind of truth that can set you free from so much anxiety and pressure. So here's my challenge to you, and I really want you to take this seriously. After you finish watching this, don't just scroll to the next video. Take 5 minutes and reach out to your mother. Send her a message, give her a call, or if you live with her, actually sit down and have a real conversation. Tell her something you appreciate. Ask her a question about her life, not just logistics, but something real, something that helps you see her as a person with her own dreams and struggles. Listen to her answer. Really listen, because in that conversation, you might discover keys to parts of your own identity you've been searching for everywhere else. Your mother is the key, not because she's perfect, but because she's connected to you in a way nobody else ever will be. She's the beginning of your story, the first voice you heard, the first face you recognized, the first home you ever knew. And no matter how far you go or how much you change, that connection remains. You can choose to ignore it, you can take it for granted, or you can recognize it for what it is, one of the most powerful relationships you'll ever have, one that holds wisdom, love, and insight that could change your entire life if you just pay attention. So if this message hit home for you, show some love right now. Like this video, drop a comment with one word that describes your mother, and think about how you can honor that relationship today. Because at the end of the day, we're all searching for answers outside ourselves, but sometimes the key we need has been right there all along. in the person who's been rooting for us since before we could even understand what that meant. Your mother is the key. Don't wait until it's too late to turn it.